Hi, everyone. This is sort of a bad time because the president is still talking on TV. So I don't know if I'll have anybody in here. I'm sure everybody wants to hear this. If I would have thought of this beforehand, I would have put this off till another time. But even now, I would put it back an hour, except that at 3 o'clock, I have to leave and go to get in line and pick up groceries at Giant Eagle. I ordered online. I just have to go through the pickup line. Hi, Bumblebee. I have to go leave here at 3 o'clock, pick up I'm going to sneeze. Yes, I have to go pick up my groceries. I ordered them online a couple days ago, and I have to pick them up between 3 and 4. So I'm leaving here at 3. So I can't let this go real long, and I didn't want to change the time. But if I hadn't had to do that, I would have probably made a note, and because you can change the time on this. And I would have pushed it back for an hour or so because I think most of the people are probably listening to the president, maybe. I don't know. I think my sister is. So I don't have any specific thing to talk about except this. I have isolated myself. A 2-in-1 chat, yeah. Oh, there's 2 in the chat. I hope it's just not me and you. Yeah, I pretty much isolated myself in my house. Everybody knows not to come to the house or come in to the house. I did have a friend of mine pick up some eggs yesterday, but I told her just drive into the driveway and open her trunk, and I will put the eggs in her trunk. So unfortunately, she brought her husband along. And what is it about some men? They hate to take this kind of stuff seriously. I don't know if it's a macho thing or, yeah, I'll catch him on YouTube later, or I will just listen to the summary, on the news. Because the governor then comes on, the Ohio governor comes on a little later in the afternoon about Ohio. So, but I'm trying not to listen to this too much on the TV. In fact, for the first couple days, I was listening to whatever came on TV about it, and everybody has something to say about it. All the newscasts, that's all you hear. And it just got to be too much. It was getting me so anxious. So yesterday, undercover yard sale, hi. Yesterday, I just watched the morning news, just a little bit of it, and then I put music on, happy music, all day long. I felt so much better. Until my daughter called in the evening. She called at least 5 or 6 times, which all different things, My poor daughter, I think, has turned into a hypochondriac, and she's so nervous and she's anxious. Now, I know where she gets her anxiety is from me, unfortunately, but she is really anxious because now she has no job. Hi, Sue. You're here. Yeah, Michelle has no job. She was a bartender. So no money coming in. Plus, she's a photographer, and she sure doesn't want people coming to her home studio And people aren't even thinking of getting photographs done at this time anyway. That's sort of, something that you do when you have some extra money, maybe. I was wondering that about eBay too. Are people really thinking about going online and ordering clothes and things? I don't know. I have gotten a couple orders, but it's been slow. I can't even blame it on the virus. It's been slow anyway. So I had somebody text me yesterday if I would take full price for something, would I do free shipping? So yes, I said yes, and she said she had to know right away. So I texted back and sent her an invoice when she paid. She did go on and buy the item, and I sent her the invoice minus the shipping, and now she hasn't paid. Now she had to have this answer right away, but now it sits there. So I have another thing that a case was opened against them because they never paid. So, oh well, that's resale, I guess. They could probably use help at the grocery delivery services, probably, because I think that's what everybody is doing now. It doesn't want to go into the store. I don't know why anybody would want to go in the grocery stores anyway. People have got to listen about this social distancing. It's the only way that this is going to make a curve downward. People just don't pay attention to it. I was going to tell you about my girlfriend that came for the eggs. Well, her husband came with her, and of course he doesn't think much of this whole thing. I don't know if it's a guy thing, if it's a macho thing or what. They don't want to seem concerned. As soon as the car drove in, he gets out of the car and came right to the door. I just said through the door, "Get back in the car, you're not getting any eggs." And it took him forever to do it. He did not want to. And I know if I would have gone out, because he's a hugger. If I would have gone out that door, he would have tried to hug me. So his wife is yelling at him from the car. So finally, he did what he was told. And we had the egg. I put the eggs on the deck, and then he insisted on getting out and getting the eggs from the deck. So I didn't have to come all the way down 2 steps to the car. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm hoping today they do say that you have to show them your even though I've paid with my credit card for my groceries, I think you still, if I remember rightly, I did this a couple times before any of this, a couple years ago when they first started it. I did this, and I think you have to show your credit card. But I'm hoping I can just show it through the window, that I don't have to actually hand it to her. But I don't know. They should not have to do that at this particular time. Annie, get your gun. Yeah. I have my gun, but I haven't found the bullets. I hid them someplace else. I need to do that. I did that when I had my grandkids, coming over. And I was so paranoid about the gun. So I finally hid the gun one place and put the bullets entirely someplace else. And now, of course, I can't remember where the bullets are, but I really should go look for those. Yeah. Undercover yard sale. Yeah, I like her name too. I don't think you've been here before, Undercover. I keep a Kleenex around because, you know, when you know you're not supposed to touch your face, that's when your face itches. Did you ever notice that? Your face itches. They say normally people touch their face over 100 times a day. You don't even realize it. But now that you're not supposed to do that, I don't know. Barney, yeah. I was watching that this morning. That's one program I have. It tapes for me all the time, you know, Mayfield with Barney and the sheriff. I watch that. I love that program. I've always watched it. And I was actually watching it this morning. That sounds just like Mom. I think Dad couldn't even have the bullets in the same floor. Yeah. I think mine are on the same floor upstairs, but I don't exactly know where they are. Oh dear. But yeah. Well, I'm glad there are people here anyway talking, because I really didn't know what I was going to talk about, except that the social distancing, I think that's the only way that this is going to start a downtrend, because as long as people are not paying any attention to that, it's just getting passed from people to people and from things to things. And look at down in Florida. I guess they're having a bigger problem than Ohio is. I just got an email from a friend of mine who doesn't know, they want to come home, but they don't want to really take the chance of flying home. And they've sort of contained themselves in their house down there. They're not doing anything. And they are near a beach that there's nobody on. So they do go walk on the beach, but they're by themselves, and go in the water to get outside. But yeah, when you see all these kids that are on spring break, they had a news about it this morning on the regular news, and showing all the kids down there, and they're on the beach, all over the beaches, not paying too much attention. And I know 2 days ago, Rockstar Flipper, I don't know if anybody saw this, Rockstar Flipper, it was the day before, I think he filmed it on the 15th. I think it was the day before they closed the bars and restaurants down there. He was in a restaurant, it was packed. Then he went out to the beach, and there was a on the beach bar like they do in warm climates. And it was packed, full of people, shoulder to shoulder. And he says, he said something like, we don't worry, we do things differently in Florida. We don't worry too much about, I don't want to quote him exactly because I don't remember exactly what he said, but it really upset me. I finally turned it off. It upset me, and I was going to comment, but shortly after he was on, a whole lot of people commented. That was not a good thing to have on, and he had commented on it yesterday, I think, again, that it was filmed on the 15th before they did shut the bars and restaurants down and everything. So one person did comment, which I thought was pretty accurate for that just that YouTube video. They said, Casey, you are very smart, but you're not wise. And that sort of said it all about that particular video. But he has apologized, and he's been on after that almost every day about it. So, it was just a bad thing to have online. Oh, Michelle, yeah. Michelle could never. No, Michelle does not want to be around people. The only place she's going is to the barn. And there's only usually a couple people at the barn, and they are staying away from each other like they're supposed to. And I don't think she'll get anything from her horse, but she cannot stay away from her horse. And she has, I think last night she was putting an order in the grocery store. She doesn't want to go back to the grocery store. And my daughter is not one to keep her house stocked with things, so she needs everything. So she was going to go on Giant Eagle's site and do an order. And I don't know when she'll be able to pick it up, because I'm sure they're backed up. When I put my order in, I think I put it in Sunday night or Monday, and I couldn't pick it up till today, Wednesday, at the first slot was 3 o'clock. So I took that first slot. But yeah, they're filling up. So I don't know if she puts it on an order in now, she may have to wait 4 or 5 days before she can pick it up. I don't know. She hasn't called me yet today. But she is very anxious, and she is being sort of a hypochondriac. Every symptom that they talk about on TV or online on Facebook, she should stop watching Facebook for sure. And she will have that, or did have it, or she feels like she's going to get that. And she's making me anxious. So it's not good. You enjoyed a nice walk yesterday. Yes. Yep, the birds are out there singing, and they're making nests. Yeah. The sparrows are in the house right outside where I do my makeup upstairs. I have a bird house way up on that tree, and they make nests in it every single year. And yeah, they started early finding their mate. It's funny because usually the little female or male sparrow will sit on top of that bird house, and they'll call and call and call and call and flutter and make themselves look real pretty until they decide what mate they're going to have. And then now they're building. So evidently they found a mate. They're building there. And then right next to my window up there, I'll take a picture of it sometime, is my brick chimney from when they used to have well, it is for my boiler, I guess, for the I don't know exactly how it has to be a working chimney, because when we moved in here, we had a stainless steel insert put in that cost a lot to have that done. But anyway, it's brick on the outside, and ivy has grown up, and it's a thick ivy all over that brick chimney. I know ivy, you shouldn't let it do that, but it's covered and it's thick, and there has to be hundreds of sparrows make their homes in that ivy. You can see the nests in there, in amongst the ivy, and they're all sparrows. So they're, you can't just cut the ivy down. It's going to take all their nests away. So there you go. So lots of birdies. There's going to be lots of baby birdies. So, yeah, I walk around my property. I could take a walk up and down the street, up and down the road. There's nobody. We get a walker once in a while, but I wouldn't be next to anybody. And I need to go outside. It's too bad that tomorrow it's going to be warm, but it's going to rain. I think it's going to start to rain tonight and have like 3 days of rain. It's going to be warm, but it's going to rain. But I need to redo my fencing out there for the chickens. I'd like to move it so that they have new areas to graze in, to be in, because I want the more they graze on regular, the regular ground and the grass and the weeds and everything, the less feed they eat. And I don't want to run out of feed again. I want them to use less feed. So that means I have to widen the area where they are able to go. So I don't want to let them loose because they'll go over onto the golf course. That wouldn't be good. Plus they use weed killer and stuff over there. I don't want them over there. Yes. Last year, that's been covered up now, though. They pretty much can't get down there anymore. There was a big, huge nest. My boiler stopped working, and it wouldn't stay on. Once the boiler guy came to fix it, they couldn't get it to work right. And what they found was up near the top of the chimney, a bird, we think it's a robin because we found remnants of blue eggs in there. So we think, and it was a big nest like a robin makes, big, sort of a messy nest. And there was this huge nest that it had to be, how long, Sue? It had to be like 2 feet long, where a bird had just kept piling stuff in there until they made a nest. Or maybe it was year after year, they kept rebuilding nests in there. But finally it blocked the chimney, which could have been dangerous. So they got that all out, cleared it out, got it covered up with screen things so that they couldn't get back in there. And yeah. Those birds are crazy to find nesting spots this time of year. They have, Target special hours for old people at the grocery stores. Yeah, it's early hours. It's here too. I didn't hear about the grocery store here, but Target sent out a thing that the first couple hours that they're open, I don't know what time they're open, are for seniors only to come, which is really nice, But Target is where my CVS pharmacy is. So if I have to pick up any pills, I have to pick up any of mine. I don't think any are due right now, but if I would have to go pick up from the pharmacy, I think Target also has a pickup window that I can pick them up at. Raymond Moore, hope everybody's doing fine. Stay strong. Yes, you too, Raymond. I'm glad you came on. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is when my sister said there's special hours for old people. but the hours are around 8 a.m. before she's ever awake. Yeah, they're going to be real early hours. Even Target, I don't know what time Target opens. I don't think it's 8, but it's probably maybe 9. Yeah. And they're only going to probably give us an hour. Don't they know we move slow? Here's Bumble. Not a sparrow falls to the earth outside of the Father's will. How much more his love and he loves and cares for us. Yes. And I keep reading Psalm 91, which is one of my favorites verses also. Yes, he will take care of us. That's Matthew 10, 29, 31. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I think that's a verse we used to have to learn when we were in Bible classes. Yeah, you have to have faith for sure. My daughter says, why is God doing this? God isn't doing this. He can undo it. He can let it happen. There's a reason. We just don't know what it is. It's beyond our understanding. But we have to be able to also take care of ourselves. Yeah. Yeah, here's the verse, if anybody wants to know. That's about the sparrow. Sparrows. I didn't even write down the things I said I was going to talk about, besides the isolation. Oh yeah, isolation and depression. I can see where that would easily happen. But if you're totally isolated without any social interaction at all, it's easier nowadays, I think, with people with computers and with Skype and FaceTime and that, where you can actually be talking to each other, especially on FaceTime and Skype, when you're actually talking back and forth to each other. But this helps me a lot, being on YouTube and having people come in and talk. I think that really helps too. And for heaven's sakes, people that don't have animals, I don't know how they can manage. How can you go through life if you're alone, especially? I mean, there's a lot of us alone, but you need a dog, especially. Cats, okay, but there's nothing like a dog. See, my nose itches now. And nothing like a dog. And they depend on us, and we depend on them. When am I going to see my horses? Maybe tomorrow I'll go out there. I'll make sure there's, nobody in the barn. It's going to be raining, so I think that they'll be in, so I will be able to go in to be with them. But everybody knows that I'm staying away from people, so even if there's somebody in the barn, they know not to stay back 6 feet. I don't know if I said when I was on Sunday. I don't know when I did it. Did I? Yeah, I think I did it Sunday. I tripped up the step yeah, the one step to my little bit of a deck that I have and twisted my knee. And that was a big pain in the neck, let me tell you, the last few days. But the last few days, I took an anti-inflammatory, and it did help. And now pretty much today, it's fine. I can go up and down the steps without any pain. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be really careful not to hurt myself. The last place I want to be is going into a germy hospital. Yeah. Now, what to do? My daughter, number one, she has no medical insurance. Number two, she does not have a primary physician. She never thought she needed one up until probably now. So I hope that she's found out what to do. There's a lot of people don't have primary physicians and don't have medical insurance. So I think there's a number you call that you can go online and talk to. They're doing a lot of online visits with physicians, and she needs to do that to get somebody to talk to in case she does get not these symptoms from her allergies that she has all the time, but her, if she really feels that she needs to see somebody, she needs to get a doctor. But luckily, Deanna, the girl she owns the house with, her brother is a doctor. So she can always call him. Even he's an orthopedic surgeon. But she can call him and get anything she needs from him, or get the name of somebody to see or whatever. You video call your grandparents every day to make sure they're okay. Yeah, and not lonely. Yes, it's bad. I feel so sorry for the people in the nursing homes that they can't get visitors anymore. And yesterday on St. Patrick's Day, they were showing there was some bagpiper guy that, because we didn't have parades, of course, for St. Patrick's Day here in Cleveland, which is a big thing, the bagpipers were going to the nursing homes outside. They go around all the windows and they were playing their bagpipes for all the people for St. Patrick's Day. And you could see the people in there were waving to them and telling them, thanking them. That was so nice of them to do. Let me put this up. The only biolab holding 1,500 viruses is located in Wuhan, China. And we humans designed airplanes. Yeah, really. But their numbers, besides Wuhan, I think their numbers are going way, way down there now, that they have sort of beat this in the rest of China. I think that's what I heard the president saying. Besides that one place, the numbers have gone way down to almost nothing. And everything's opening back up and everything. And that's what we hope will happen here. But, that's because they closed everything down and people were isolated. And that's probably going to be what they have to do here. They're going to do that to New York, of all places. New York, City, New York City, because it's in all the boroughs. So I just thought I'd never live to see that for sure. Yeah. Well, they're already turning, so many people are showing up at the testing places. And they do have doctor's orders, but there's just so many of them showing up that they're having to turn people away to come back the next day. So they need to open up more. They have only 3 open here in the Cleveland area, up in Cleveland right now. And I'll tell you, I would, if I thought I had symptoms and I felt horrible, I just could not drive myself all the way down to the Cleveland Clinic. I did that enough when my husband was ill. I don't ever want to go back there again. So I'm hoping that they will open it up at the hospitals, at your regular hospitals close by. They keep saying they have enough tests now, the testing material that they're making them by the millions. So why can't they have the testing spots all over the place? My daughter her last call to me last night was she had this great idea. She thinks that they should test everybody. Then they would know who had it and who didn't. But there has to be a big reason why they're not doing that. Number one, you have to have 2 tests in a row. If a test comes back positive, you have to get 2 negatives in a row to be considered negative. But she's saying if you would know for sure if they'd weed out the ones that were positive and the people that were negative. Just test everybody. But I think that's far beyond what they think they need to do. There's a lot of places in the United States that are so unpopulated that they don't have to do that. Little screenings are showing up in parking lots of major stores. Oh, really? Oh, I hadn't even heard about that. I wish they would do that here. Yeah, there needs to be more testing spots for sure. More screening spots. Yeah, that's what I told her. Until you catch it the next day. Yeah, you never know, because you can be absolutely, not showing anything for days, still be contagious, evidently. They just don't know enough about it yet, for sure. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people that think they have it, the people that are really well, but they still want testings. That's why you have to go through your doctor, and he has to make the decision. Trump mentioned it yesterday about testing everybody. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't listen. I don't listen to the full things. It makes me too anxious. I don't need to be stressed out. That's bad for you too. So I listen at the news at the end of the day for the summaries, or I listen a little bit to the governor when he comes on in the afternoon for like a summary. I have all my tax stuff put together, and I had a call into my banker guy and to ask him if I have everything that I need from Chase, because sometimes they send something right around this time that's a corrected something that's corrected, and you need that. And I just called him this morning. He hasn't returned my call yet. And the mail came, and there it was, the corrected one. So all I have to do is download the Mile IQ summary for 2019 for my business. And then I think I'm set. I think I can mail this out tomorrow. And you can't force people to have testing. That's true. Just like you're not going to be able to force people to have the vaccine when they get it. Because there's a whole lot of people that don't believe in vaccines. And all the homeless people. Yeah. There's too many. It's impossible to test every single person in the whole United States. Okay, Bumblebee, I missed this one. Let me put this up. I'm just letting you know to tell your daughter, this is a man-made situation, but God wants to use this to draw all of us to a relationship with him. Yes, I believe that is true for sure. And sometimes it's easy to think that, why is God punishing us? Is God doing this to punish? Because we're not following him, we're not doing what the Bible says. But I don't know, we just don't know. We don't have that understanding, I could say. But I do believe it will draw people to, let me tell you about my husband. My husband was an agnostic. Okay. It wasn't until he really realized he was dying. I mean, there wasn't much more to be done. He was in the Cleveland Clinic. People had talked to him. I had talked to him. I'm a born-again Christian. So you can believe I tried to get him to say the prayer and to ask for forgiveness and to come to Jesus, but he just didn't listen ever. Until actually he was at home, and I think, Sue, you were here at the time. I think Michelle might have been here too. I'm not sure that evening. He was having trouble breathing. Okay? And if nothing else scares you, that will. And it was settling, it was getting into his lungs, and his lungs were filling up with fluid because he had been a big-time smoker his whole life. And of course, that's what it finally went to. He had leukemia. It went to his brain. They got a hold of that. But then it just went other places. So I remember talking to him that evening on the couch. He was sitting on the couch, struggling to breathe. And he finally repeated the prayer. I don't want to cry here. He repeated the prayer after me. And it was 17 days before he died. So I had my minister go to the hospital. We had taken him to the hospital that evening. I think, Sue, we took him in that evening into the clinic, and he was in there from then on. And my preacher, Pastor Jeff, who is a wonderful person, went to see him and talked to him. And he had told Pastor Jeff that he was having a lot of conversations with God. So, hallelujah. He knows the limits of our understanding. Yes. Yeah. It's hard to know the why of things. I just pray every day for God just to lift this virus away from us. But it's, if there's a reason, there's a reason. And I pray for all the people that have it, and that they all get well. And you have to just pray. You have to lean on your faith and pray. So I don't know. It's a something like we'll hopefully never see again. And do you remember? I don't know if there's anybody. Bumblebee, were you a Downton Abbey watcher? I was big time Downton Abbey. I have all the tapes. I've watched it over and over and over again. But the ones they have on there about the Spanish flu in 1918, and they showed the people getting sick, and they showed one of the main characters almost dying, and one of the people in the house did die, and all the people getting sick, and they're sort of equating this to that type of a thing, like the Spanish flu was. Yes, Sue says yes. This was about Jack and saying the prayer. Sue says yes. I was in the kitchen crying. Michelle and you were having him repeat the prayer. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. So it's 10 to 2. I have to leave here at 3. I have plenty of time. It only takes me 7 minutes to get to town from my house, but I drive sort of fast. I'll be careful, though. I don't want any accidents. No reason to go to the hospital at this particular time, for sure. Yeah. I don't know how my daughter-in-law is and my grandkids are Catholic, and my son does not go to church. I don't know what he was brought up in as a Protestant, but I don't know what his belief system is. He doesn't like to talk about that kind of stuff. So I have no idea where he stands, to tell you the truth. That's bad. I should know that. Let me see what Raymond's saying here. We had a pastor in our country who had just passed away from the virus. Religion, mass gatherings is the cause. We should avoid going to mass. Well, yes, during hard times. All the churches have said, don't come to mass. They're having everything online now. They're having the masses online, and they're having the church services. Most of them are online. So there's no reason to go to the actual churches. So, yeah. Yeah, in Italy especially, I bet a lot of them congregated. That's a enormous Catholic country with a lot of Catholic churches, and undercover yard sale. Let me see here. We have to go to a funeral today, letting 5 people in at a time to basically just walk through and leave. I know, it's sad. Yeah, they had just said about the funerals and the weddings, not to put them off. You can't put off a funeral. As far as the gathering after a wedding, you can put off the wedding receptions. But just think how expensive. There has to be a way. If you've already paid for your venue where you're going to have your reception, there has to be a way for them to forgive that, or just to get a different date, months down the line, and just maybe have a ceremony at your house, at home, get married at home. I don't know what they're doing. Here, I like this stuff, Bumblebee. God is not bound by death. When we ask him into our hearts and give him our life, to the best of our understanding as we grow, we are safely home with him, no matter what happens. Yes. He will, here's the one. He will stop at nothing to bring us all safely home to eternal life. I am so glad, Bumblebee, that you are a born-again Christian too. That makes this friendship even more special between us. For sure. Yeah. Yes, it does make things easier if you're sure where you're going. Hey, if you ask me, if Jesus wants to come right now, that's okay with me. Yeah. So 7 in the chat. Yeah, my sister's church is live streaming. Yeah, she said her and her daughter was at her house going to church Sunday. I haven't actually seen if mine is doing that or not. I'm sure it most probably is. I will have to go and look. Yeah, this is interesting how this chat has gone. But yeah, that's the Lord uses, let me see now. The Lord uses reselling to encourage all of us here today and strengthen each other in him. Yes, you all came here to hear about reselling, but you're hearing about the Lord. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God is in charge. But we have to do what we're supposed to be doing. It doesn't mean we can just go out helter-skelter, not paying any attention to the rules. Darlene, I might have missed you coming in. Darlene Aiken, yeah, thanks for coming. Thank you. I've gotten a couple comments and things from you. I appreciate it. If anybody's in here I don't think there is, it's Raymond, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you hit the little bell, you'll see when I do come on live. I don't know if you get a dingle if I do a recorded video. I'm still not sure about that. It may be any time that my vlog goes on, you may get a notification. Sue says it's okay with her too if Jesus comes now. Yes. Yeah, me too. I'd like to look up there in the sky, see it. Christian Genie, Lies for God. I was wondering when you'd come in here. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm staying put. Yeah. I've self-contained myself. It's just me my animals, and going out to the pickup line at the grocery store where I don't have any contact with people. Yes, welcome, Jeannie. Yeah. Take a sip of my coffee here. It's probably getting cold. Here's a birdie. Not a sparrow, a little chickadee. I think my sister gave me this cup. It's very handy to hold lots of, if you have a big drink, because this holds a lot. But it has this nice handle. Yesterday, this sort of being contained in the house makes me want to make soup or cook, which is, it's not my favorite thing to do, but I think I will. I do have things in the freezer, and I think I'm going to pull out. I made roasted chicken in the oven, drumsticks. I had a bunch of drumsticks, so I made them in the oven. I marinated them first, and they were pretty good. And I had a salad with them. And I do have lots of more chicken in my freezer. So I think I will make a big pot of soup, because that's good for freezing. And you can always, when you don't know what else to have, chicken noodle soup is always good for you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I also ran out of, well, today I'll be picking up some more treats. I mean, bakery type treats, because I am sort of addicted to bakery, you know. And I ate my last cinnamon bun like 2 days ago. So I do have things to make myself to bake. So, but today I will be picking up, I forget what I ordered. I think I ordered some cupcakes and some pastries. Maybe some Danish. I don't even remember. I did order some things though. So before I bake, I'll have to eat that up, which will be no problem. I did call around, and there's no place except Amazon that will deliver chicken feed. And it is so expensive because it's heavy, you know. The kind of chicken feed that I use Purina organic pellets chicken feed. It's usually like $28 at Tractor Supply. Amazon, they say it's free delivery because I'm Prime, but it's $68. $68 for a bag of food. No, I'm going to let my chickens free range more and order some more greens from the grocery store, which I can pick up and you know, feed them that way, and really limit their grain, the chicken feed. I do have a full chicken feed one, so I just got it, and plenty of scratch. So yeah, and as far as the dog and cats, I get everything through Chewy, which is delivered. Thank you, Ray, for subscribing. Thank you very much. Yeah, you did get me this cup. Yeah, I thought you did. Yeah. Yes, it's one of the ones I use all the time. There's like 3 that I use constantly. I don't know why I just don't put the rest of them that are taking up so much room in my cupboard. I could sell the rest of them, because there's only 3 or 4 that I really use all the time. Yes, always give God the glory for anything good. Yes, for anybody getting well, give God the glory. Too bad, Sue says, too bad we're so far apart because she needs eggs. Yeah, I don't think they'd ship too well. Yeah, my girls are laying like crazy. So every day I'm getting 7 to 8 eggs. That adds up to a lot, you know. So why does your nose itch so much when you know you're not supposed to scratch it? Oh. Are there any other new folks here today that would like to subscribe? I don't know. I haven't seen anybody that I don't recognize except Raymond. And I'm glad you subscribed, Raymond. We hope you come back. Keep coming back. Yeah, usually my ones are, I have 3 different kinds of YouTube videos on here. Reselling videos about my eBay and Poshmark reselling business. Then I have these Wednesday ones they can be about anything. They can just be conversations like today. And then Sundays, I'm on at 4 o'clock always. And those are what sold the previous week on eBay and Poshmark. I tell you what sold and show you pictures. And then if I have any recorded videos, and they could be about anything. I could take recorded videos out at the barn with the horses. I could, not so much now because I'm not going anywhere, but they could be about my chickens because I do have, enough. I live on 1 square acre and I have 8 laying hens. And I do a lot of videos about my chickens and about my dog Dexter. I have a English pointer, and I have 2 cats, 2 rescued barn cats, and most of the things are about that. I used to I have done some vlogs when I've cooked things or baked things. I could do those. You can vlog about anything, but mostly this particular channel was set up to be a reselling vlog, but there's other things too. Oh, no eggs means no brownies. Oh dear. Yeah. I'm sure you can have your groceries delivered. You have Aldi, don't you? Aldi's doing home delivery. And I think most of the grocery stores are doing it now. And they started before this pandemic ever started. Giant Eagle home delivers. There's a fee when they do the home delivery. But you can always do the pickup line, and that's for free. You just order online, like I'm doing today. So, yeah, you have to be able to make brownies for sure. Now, see, that makes me want to go make brownies. That is a crisis. No brownies, yeah. I ate my whole candy bar, that great big symphony candy bar. And that's one thing I forgot to order on my order. Darn it. I could have ordered another one that would come today, but I didn't. Ate the whole thing myself. Within 2 days, I ate that whole big candy bar. I think if I have to stay in the house very long, I'm going to gain weight. Yeah, because it's not really the good for you greens that I feel like eating. It's the bakery and the pastry and the chocolate and the ice cream. Yeah. I did order my Pierre's mint chocolate chip ice cream because I ate all that, and that's going to come. Oh, Sue says it keeps her from eating them, the brownies. Yeah. Oh, she's not that much overweight, Sue. Yeah, my sister thinks I'm underweight. I'm not underweight. I'm just what I'm supposed to be. I stay the same weight always. It just shifted. I decided that, yeah, everything that fell. I used to have a little rear. I don't anymore. I found out where my rear went. My rear went to my knees. When I was looking to see if my knee was swollen from tripping up the step, when I hurt my knee, I noticed how fat my knees are. And it wasn't because it was swollen from tripping. Both were the same. My knees have become fat. I think that's where my rear end went. Here, Ray says something. I'll put this up so I can see it. Elderly people who live alone should really have their groceries brought online delivered. Yeah, well, I think that's a really good idea too. I have had Aldi deliver. They delivered me groceries last week or the week before. I had like 3 free deliveries coming, so I was using them up. Yeah, I think I have one more free delivery from Aldi. But they don't have as much. There were some things that I wanted. That's why I ordered from Giant Eagle, who's a lot more expensive. But I don't know why. I don't think I have to worry about touching my face in my own house. There's nobody here, and my sister doesn't even know why I'm washing my hands so much. My hands are so sore, especially the backs of my hands where my skin has become thin. That happens when you get old. You get this tissue paper skin. That's how I know I'm really old. My hands look much older than I feel, or that I think my face looks like. I think my face looks younger, well, thank goodness, than my hands. My hands look ancient. Darlene says, I think your memory has gone to your belly. Oh, dear. I think something up here has gone to my belly. Yeah. I do have that belly thing going on that older people get. Yeah, I used to have a decent shape. I took belly dancing lessons when I was young. That's a whole story in itself. I made my own costume. It had 3,500 hand-sewn beads on the top and on the waist, the hip band thing. I sewed on by hand, 3,500 jiggly beads. Oh, I've done all kinds of things. Bumblebee, you say me too. Does that mean you did belly dancing, or or things just fell down? I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't a belly dancer. I just took belly dancing lessons. It's good exercise. And it was fun. Yeah. That was back when I was in the art league. I used to paint. I was a paint. I painted. I painted wildlife, animals is what I painted. Very intricate animals, very realistic type painting. And that's one eBay. I don't have anything right here that I can show you, but I will show them sometime on one of my Wednesday YouTube videos. I'll show you some of my paintings. Most of them I don't have anymore. I either sold them or gave them away, but I will show some of them. I don't know if I could still paint or not. I don't know if I see good enough to paint like I used to paint. Darlene says, my friend is a grocery store manager. They're exhausted from all the hoarders. Which is, this toilet paper thing is, I just don't understand that. A friend of mine that's has horses that she says about these toilet paper hoarders, she says anybody that had grown up on a farm, lived on a farm their whole life, they're not scared about running out of toilet paper. They know what the drip dry method is. So yeah, she was just on saying she has horses, and she's a friend of mine. Yeah. I see that Ellen DeGeneres, I see her Facebook things, and she thought she'd put puzzles together and somebody sent her a 4,000 piece puzzle, and she was so frustrated because she didn't even have a table big enough to even start it. So it looks like she's staying in too. I don't know, is she doing her programs are probably recorded now from before. It doesn't look like she's doing anything out of the house. I don't know for sure. Way more than your sister. I don't know what that means. You mean I've done more? I've done various things, just various things. My sister was a lot more of a mother. She was the good mother. She had children. That's all she wanted. She wanted to get married and have children. And she was the sister that played with dolls. And I was the one that played horses outside, galloped around the neighborhood, and did that kind of stuff. My sister played with dolls. And that's sort of how we grew up. I mean, to be. She was the one that loved to be at home, and had children. And I was the one that did various things, all kinds of things. I tried all different kinds of things. I did skiing, and she did take horseback riding lessons with me when we were little. My father took us to the horseback riding lessons. My mother was too nervous to go. Okay, we went horseback riding, and we were riding along a road, and the horse spooked. I don't know what happened. The horse spooked. My horse reared, and I rolled off his back. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I was little. And my sister's horse jumped the gully and next to the road, which is much harder, actually. Her horse jumped the gully, and she stayed on her horse. But my father, for some reason, told my mother what had happened, and that was the end of our horseback riding lessons. He was forbidden to take us back to be on horses. So that was the end of my horseback riding lessons when I was little. Yeah. Yeah, I've skied out west. I've skied up in Canada. And it was mostly it wasn't during my first marriage when my kids were little at all. It was during my after my divorce from my first husband, and I met a guy that was a skier. And that's when my son learned to ski, and we went skiing together. My son kept it up until he blew out both of his knees hot dog skiing when that first became a thing. He had to have 2 knee replacements. Not good. So, yeah, then I met my husband, Jack, and we went skiing all over. We went skiing Colorado. We went skiing up. We went to a big ski school up north in Mont Tremblant in Quebec. To the, what was the name of that ski school? It was a well-known ski school up there, and they spoke French. And the cooking and the food was wonderful that we got. Here, let's see. I was a wild woman. Yeah, I was. I have to admit it. Bumblebee says, my son was talking to a coworker the last time he was at work. They mentioned their friends stocked up by getting a case of water, a pack of cigarettes, and a pound of pot. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, different ages think differently, don't they, about what they should stock up on? For sure. Well, the pound of pot should keep them from getting too stressed out about things. Yeah, I tried that too when I was young. I was the wild woman. Sue said she knew to lean forward when the horse jumped over the creek. Yeah, well, I was supposed to lean forward when the horse reared, but I didn't. Yeah. So, but that didn't keep me from wanting horses and wanting to ride. Of course, I didn't get my first horse till I was in my 50s, which is pretty sad. But this has been a really good chat. And I'm going to have to close, though, and get ready to go to pick up my groceries. Let the dog out, do all that kind of stuff. It counteracts the nicotine jitters when the cigarettes are out. Yes. True. It would just probably make me eat like even more. It would just make me eat like crazy. Because I think that's what it did to me when I tried it. I think once I ate a whole bucket of fried chicken. The whole thing. Oh, dear. Good times. When I put on music, I have channels on my TV. I have satellite TV, and you can put on the music, and you can get on all 70s music or all 60s or all 80s, whatever. And all that music, it reminds me of all different times. And it makes me think back, and I'll remember them. Because something about after I got the concussion when I hurt my eye, I lost a lot of memory. But different things bring different memories back. So it's in there somewhere. I heard something online. Somebody said, we were talking about haircuts because I canceled my haircut appointment. And now my hair's going to get too long. But somebody said, after a month or two, we're going to find out what color everybody's hair really is. Because they're closing, I think they're closing a lot of the salons and the barbers and things. Bumblebee says, I know I hated smelling it when we went through the men's dorms. Ray, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, I'm going to go too. You take care of yourself too. Yeah, I'm going to close for now. Get ready to go pick up those groceries. It's my big exciting trip of the week. Even though I'm just in my little car containment area. So I will see you all for sure on Sunday. It may be a real small one again, but I will be on. And if I get to, I should be doing some recorded videos. That's what I could be doing this week. So we'll see. I'll get together some things to make these videos about, some fun things. So stay healthy, everybody. Do what you're told. Stay put. Stay contained. Stay away 6 feet. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And no hugging. Stay 6 feet away from people. We have to stop this, and that's the only way. So I will see you. Bumblebee, don't forget my invoice. Makes me nervous when I haven't paid yet. So I will see you again or online. So bye.